Hey, folks, it's Dave here in Studio B, and we're going to take a look at a baseball game called the Game of Dice Baseball. And we're going to play a little bit here on the tabletop. Now, I need to do something here real quick to see if I can game the system here. And yes, I can. So I can change cameras here in StreamYard. So that's what I was wondering if I could do. So I will be able to do this on StreamYard, which is going to be a good thing. All right. So anyway, this is called the Game of Dice Baseball. I'm going to run you through a little bit how it plays in the whole bit. You can find this game over here at thegameofdicebaseball.com. And right now, they have a handful of seasons here. So they have 80, 79, 77, handful of 70 seasons, some of the 60 seasons as well, back to 65. Okay, so that's kind of what it is. You can see seasons are $7, and you get, I believe, you get the season, and also you get the instructions with it as well. And we'll take a look at one of the cards here, because this is what the cards look like. A Steeler fan stops by and Cleveland baseball fan. Good to see you guys here. This is what the card looks like. All right, it's basically just the player's stats for that year. It's really kind of a unique way of doing things here, and I'll explain why in a second. And then the pitcher's card is the same. It really has to do with pitcher stats. And then what happens with the game is I don't think I can show you the complete game engine without giving the game away. But what's going to happen is if you roll a 36, let's say, that comes off the pitcher card, you're going to look at the average of the pitcher. And if his average is greater than 299, it's a base hit. If it's not, then it's a ground ball. So it's almost like if you remember the play games where you ask a question, if that's it, that's your answer. If not, you go on to the next one. Now, if you roll a 34 or 35, that's predetermined to be a ground out, normal ground out, and then a slow ground out. Is kind of how that goes. And he's got some videos on his website as well. I mean, on his YouTube page, if you want to check it out. This is a Brian Haferkamp game called The Game of Dice Baseball. All right, let me come back to my StreamYard here. And let's go here like this. So let's get into how this plays first, okay? I played a little bit last night, and I found that I was up and running fairly quickly, okay? A couple of questions I had for Brian that I zipped off to him, and he answered. But for the most part, it plays pretty simple. So you roll 4 dice, okay? You roll, in fact, I'll roll, well, doesn't really matter here, but I'll roll them off to the side, and I'll show you in a second what's going on. All right, so the first die, well, I can show you, I guess. Show you my roll, the roll of the dice. So the first roll, as you can see, is a 3, 4, 5, 0. Now, what does that all mean? So the first die has got to be a different color than the other two, and that's going to determine if it's pitcher, or batter card you're going to read from. 1 to 3 is the batter card, and 4 to 6 is the pitcher card. Not really the pitcher card, but the pitcher chart. The next numbers here, you're going to read in order ascending. Okay, so that's a 45. So no matter what you roll, that's still going to be a 45 all day long. And then 0, that's going to determine where the ball was hit. Now, a 0 is technically a rare play as well. And I'll talk about that in 1 second. So that's your dice roll. And that's going to determine what you're looking at on the chart. And it's going to tell you what happened. Occasionally, especially if you get a rare play, you might have to roll this 10-sided again and find out what you get. But for the most part, that's your roll to determine what happens. Let me come back to myself for a second here. Okay, and that does work. So this is your game engine. Okay, and remember we showed you the yellow boxes. So what's going to happen is if you roll a 1 to 3, where are we here? Okay, if you roll a 1 to 3, you're going to be on the batter. If you roll 4 to 6, you're going to be on the pitcher. Okay. Some of these have yellow boxes, and again, you read it ascending. It's not 11 to 66, okay? It's ascending order. You can get an 11 to 66, but again, there's no 61, 2, 3, or 4, okay? Roll your dice. If you get a yellow box, that's when you check the player card, either batter or pitcher, to see what happens. And then it gives you one of 2 outcomes, okay? If this is true, the yellow box or gold box is your outcome. If not, then you go to the white box, and that's your outcome. If it's just a plain white, then you just read what's in there. And most of those are, fly balls and ground balls and the whole bit, strikeouts or whatever. So that's kind of how it plays. 1 to 3 for the batter, 4 to 6 for the pitcher. The other 2 dice are read in ascending order, and that's going to give you something here off the chart. The 10-sided die again, I'm trying to look over here, is going to give you where it went to, first base, center field, left field, wherever. And then the bottom is a rare play chart. We're going to have to go to the rare play in the book there. There are some charts in this game. I'm not going to lie. A lot of things are chart driven. And the cards are basically just the player stats. It's kind of a unique game where just, the game engine is the key and the cards are kind of just there for reference. Okay. So let's play a little bit here, shall we? So let me see if I can go and bring you down here to the screen. All right. So we are doing that. I will get rid of the, I'll get rid of the name so we can kind of see more here. Okay. So we got a game here. So let's roll. So we got Jim Palmer on the mound for the Birds, okay? And I just printed this on regular paper. I didn't print them on anything thicker just yet. And Rick Burleson is going to lead off for the Sox. We're playing 1979. Now, what's neat about this game is that you can have the cards, or you can also have them in a roster sheet format where they start with just names going across with all these stats, and it's all listed here. Now, I emailed Brian back today, and I said, what you want to do is get those on one sheet so you can have like all the Red Sox on one page and all the Orioles on one page, and that way there you're not flipping through all the different pages. So you want one team on a page. That's what I suggested to him today for the roster sheet, or even on these cards here. Let's play. So let's roll our dice. So we're in the first inning. This is September 16th, 1979. And we roll the dice here. So we have a 1 and a 23. So a 1, we look at my chart off to the side, and it's off the batter chart. A 23 is a strikeout. So I come over here to Burleson, and he strikes out and is 1 away. So we have Ted Sizemore coming up. Ted Sizemore coming up for Boston. And let me get that over here so you can read all this. Oh, that was a 5. All right, so that's our dice roll. It's basically a 5 off the pitcher card and a 45. And a 45 is F with an N. And the little chart says that's a medium fly out. And I'm looking at 5 now. And the medium fly out on a 5 is to center field. So Sizemore flies out to center field to Gary Renicky, and there are 2 away now for Boston in the top of the first. Freddie Lynn comes up. Okay, so now we have a 2 and a 24. A 2 is off the batter card. A 24 is FD, and that's a deep fly out, and the 5 is going to tell me on a deep fly out that it's into center field. So Freddie Lynn flies deep center field. That's going to be scooped up by center field is Renicky. Oh, the other one was, I think it was left field. I might have screwed that up. Anyway, this is a test game here. All right, so that ends the side. So 3 up, 3 down. And now coming up to bat is going to be the Orioles. So we have John Tudor on the mound here for the Red Sox, and Belanger coming up to bat for Baltimore. And if we don't get some base runners, I'll simulate some base runners so we can see what goes on in this game. All right, so we have a 5. So that's coming off the pitcher card, and a 66. So the 66 says, is the WP greater than 9? The WP is not greater than 9. So we do not have a wild pitch. We have a rare play. So I go to my chart. Okay, I got to go to my charts over here and look up rare play, or unusual plays, I should say, and off the pitcher outcome. So I need to roll this again, and I get a 5. Catcher interference E2. Batter goes to first, all runners forced, 1 base. Okay, so that's going to be an E2. So Belanger goes to first base on an E2. So we have our first base runner. Okay. Now, stealing, it's fairly simple for stealing, as we got a few more people here in the chat. And where's my stealing here? So runner advancement. I think I got a stealing chart in here. Oh, I went past it. So again, everything is in here in the book here. I suppose you could print out all the charts if you wanted to. I choose not to do that just yet. Where's my stealing? Okay. So we got the stealing bases chart now. All right. So we have the stealing bases chart here. So I look at Belanger, and it says, what is his stolen base success rate? So I have 83. So that's the highest you can go. Okay. You couldn't have a wild pitch without a runner. I get that, but it wasn't anyway. It was a rare play. So I went right to rare play. So what we're going to do now is Belanger's an 83 steal. It's greater than the 70. It says greater than 70. So we're going to roll the dice here. And a 1 to 6, and he steals safely. So let's roll the dice. It's a 10-sided die roll, and let's see what we get. That's a 10. So it's a steal E2 R plus 1. So I take it that he's going to steal the base, and it's going to be an error, and he's going to get on to third. So 2 errors now on the Sox. We have an E2, and we have an E2. So we have catcher interference, and then we have the stealing here error on the catcher as well. So Belanger is down at third base right now. That's where we stand. And now Benny Ayala comes up. I think that's how you say his name. So we have Benny and the Jets coming up now against Tudor. We'll get a man on third. So we have a 2 and a 35. So it's going to be off the batter chart. I don't want to say card because it's really not the batter card. It's over here at the chart. So it's a 2 off the batter chart, and a 35 is a GS. So it's going to be a ground ball, a slow ground out. Now, what we need to do is on a slow ground out, we want to check to see what happens to the runner. And in the book here, or this here, it does tell us. On GS, fielder's choice, the only play is the first. All runners advance 1 base on the play. So on a slow ground ball, I'm going to assume that Belanger comes home and that Ayala is thrown out at first, right? Fielder's choice, yeah. So he's out on a fielder's choice, and it's 1-0 Baltimore. So that's kind of how that plays right there. All righty, so now coming up, we have Ken Singleton facing Tudor, and let's roll the dice again. So we have a 6, that's the pitcher chart, and a 12, and that's an F, S, and an asterisk. So that's going to be a line drive out. Now we go to 0, and FS is another rare play. 0's a rare play. So we're going to go to our rare play chart. Again, I'm going to call up my chart here. Rare unusual plays. And this is on not a ground out, but a fly out. And we said that was a 6-12 is FS. So if I go to my fly out S, here we go. So let's check the rare play on this fly out. And it's a 1. It's a pop up to short left field. The shortstop is after it. He makes the catch over the shoulder. So it's going to be a fly out to the shortstop. And there's now 2 away. So that was so the rare plays are not completely rare. They are somewhat unusual as well. All right, so that's going to bring up Eddie Murray. Take me home tonight, Eddie Murray. And let's roll the dice here and see what happens with Eddie Murray. So that is a 135. That's batter card, and a 35 is a GS. So it's going to be a ground ball, slow ground ball. And 8 on GS is going to be third base. So it's going to be grounded down to Hobson at third base, and he is thrown out. And so Murray is retired. So they get a run on a couple of errors, including a stolen base error. And so Baltimore leads this one 1-0. So Jim Rice will come up here to lead things off for the Sox in the top of the second. So we have a 3 and a 33. So a 3 is off the batter card, and a 33 says, is his K percentage greater than 15? It's a strikeout. No, I have a 14. So that's going to be a walk. So that's kind of how the player's stats come into play in this. So he is on base with a walk. And Kyle Yastrzemski comes up. And I don't think I'm going to, now these are the old bases, by the way. These are not the new size bases. Just throwing that out there, kind of, sort of. Does that mean I need to get a whole new board here because we have new base sizes? So I got to get a hold of I think it was Daniel that made these for me. Do I got to do that? All right, so Rice is on base. So now we're going to do some hitting with a man on base and see how that works out. All right, so Yastrzemski comes up. And we have a 456. So that's the pitcher card or the pitcher chart. A 56 is an FN. That's going to be a medium fly out. And a 6 on a medium fly out is to center field. So Yaz hits a lazy fly ball to center field, and he is out. I'm excited to see the pitch clock this year. I'm not going to lie. I'm excited to see the pitch clock. All righty, so Bob Watson comes up with a man on first base, and we have a 144. This is off the batter card, a 44. Okay, are his hits less than 120? His hits are less than 120. So that's going to be a hard ground ball. So it's GH, and a hard ground ball hit back to the pitcher. So what we need to do here is check the batter advancement on a ground ball. So it's a GH. All hard ground balls are automatic double play if a double play is possible. So he hits it to the mound. So I take it that's going to be a 1-6-3 double play. 1-6-3 double play, and that will end the inning if I read that correctly. So we go to the bottom of the second. And it's still 1-0 Baltimore. And now the Orioles will come up to bat, and it's going to be Roenicke. So here we go. We have a 333, so that's off the batter card. A 33. Again, we're going to check the K percentage. Is this K percentage greater than 15%? Yes, it's 16%. That's going to be a strikeout. So Roenicke is struck out by Tudor. That's kind of how this goes. So Lee May will come up. And we have a 436. That's the pitcher card. A 36 is a hard ground ball to 5. And a hard ground ball 5 is the third baseman. So May grounds out to Hobson, 2 away. Now Doug DeCinces comes up. We have a 214. So this is batter card, and a 14 is a slow ground ball. And a 7 on a slow ground ball is third base. So another ground ball down to Hobson, and that will retire the side. So I'll do one more inning, see if we get anything crazy coming up. But that's kind of how the game plays. Is you look at the game engine chart. You got your batter and your pitcher. That's how you decide what you're looking at. That's going to tell you the results. And then over here in the rule book here, it tells you, what the runners do on fly balls and ground outs and the whole bit. And then there's your rare play chart. You can play infield in. You got your bunts and your steals and the whole bit like that. It's fairly simple to play. I mean, I'm hoping I'm playing this correctly. I only played a few innings last night, but I think I picked it up pretty quick. All right, so I'll just do another half inning here, and we'll open up to any questions, and I'll do my best to answer the questions. So we have a 525, but we have a 0 here. So let's check this out. So this is going to be a pitcher card. A 25 is a strikeout, and a rare play on a strikeout. We do have rare plays on strikeouts, or unusual plays, I should say. So let me go to my unusual plays on a strikeout. There's unusual plays for just about everything in the game, which is kind of neat, I think. All righty, so the 10-sided die is a 5. Batter thinks he checked his swing, but the home plate umpire said he went around. The batter is livid and begins shouting at the home plate umpire, and the umpire ejects him from the game. So Hobson would be ejected from the game if we played it like that. For this demonstration purposes, I'm not going to go dig out a third baseman, but that's how it would go. Oh, and we do have Brian here in the chat room watching. So if you have any questions on this game, now would be a good chance to ask, because he's in the chat room. He can answer the game. So Hobson strikes out, and according to the rare play, would be thrown out. Again, the sample game, I'm not going to throw him out. I'm going to have the umpire and him make up, and they're going to have a nice little beer after the game. So we're just going to keep him in for a little bit here, but he would be kicked out of the game on that unusual play. So we have one away. Dwight Evans coming up against Palmer. And we have a 3-15. So this is off the batter card. A 15 is a soft ground ball or a slow ground ball hit to 5. And that's going to be third base. So third baseman is, who's that? Sensei down there? Yeah, DeCinces. So DeCinces is going to make it on the G5. I'm just kind of writing my stuff in over here. So now we have 2 outs. And we have Mike O'Berry coming up. And Mike's done some good things for me in my 79 replay when I've been playing that. And so now we have a 1-4-5. So it's off the batter card. A 45 is a strikeout. Strike him out. So Berry goes down swinging. And that ends the top of the third. So now we bring down Tudor. And up come the Orioles. Let's see if we can get some hits here. See if we can get some guys on base and make some things happen. So we have a 2-56. That's a batter card, 56. That's going to be a fly ball into medium left field. And so Dower flies out. And who's in left field today? That's Rice. So Rice makes the catch and is 1 away. If I had my way, I'd start a guy on second base every time. Like that ghost runner. That'd be awesome. Every inning a man on second base. That'd be so awesome. So we have a 5 and a 46. 5 is off the pitcher card, and a 46 is a fly ball to deep, and fly ball deep. 4 is center field. So a fly ball to deep center field. Freddie Lynn back and will make the catch, and Dempsey is out. And now we go to the top of the order, Belanger. So we have a 6-56. That's off the pitcher card, and that's going to be a fly ball. Normal fly ball, and a 4 is center field. Excuse me. And Belanger is out on a fly ball to center field. And that is that. All right, so we're going to go to the top of the 4th. Palmer still in the game. And again, we're not going to play the full game, but we are going to play a little bit. We'll play one more inning. Trying to get some different plays here. We already had somebody ejected. We had a catcher interference. We had an error on the throw on a steal. So we've had a few different things here. So that's actually a 3. So we have a 3-46. So this is off the batter card. A 46 is a ground ball. And that would be an automatic double play. But since there's nobody on, we're going to give that to, that's tapped in front of the plate. A 2 is tapped in front of the plate. So a G2. I think that might be a G2 for Burleson. Tapped it in front of the plate. Ted Sizemore coming up. And we have a 6-36. That's off the pitcher card. And a 36 is a hard ground ball. And that's going down to third base. So it's going to be a G5 and is 2 away. Freddie Lynn coming up. He flied out into the outfield earlier. I think it was left field. Could have been center. I forget now. And a 5-12 off the pitcher card. And that's going to be a fly ball line drive. And that's going to go to the first baseman. So a line out at first. So Freddie Lynn lines out down to first base. And so no runs for the Sox. So still 1-0 Baltimore. So let's see if we can get some crazy things to happen. Maybe we'll adjust some things and put guys on base just to kind of make some magic happen here. So we have a 3-34. So it's a batter card, a 34. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to make this with, we got to bring the Orioles up to bat, don't we? Orioles are hitting here. We are going to change this roll to try to get something going here. Okay. So we're going to make this a 55. So we have a 355. So it says, are the home runs greater than 29? Well, Benny Ayala, his home runs are only 6. So it's not. So instead of a home run, it's going to be a double. So Benny Ayala on my mock roll gets a double. So let's see what's going to happen now with Benny on base. See if we can get some action going here. So we have a 3-13. So Ken Singleton is up. It's off the batter cut. A 13 is a foul out. Let's change that to something else, shall we? Let's see if we can get something else here. So we're going to go off the batter card, and we're going to go 24. Now, 24 is now a deep fly ball into left field. So let me get my base running chart here. All right. And let's see what happens on that right there. So go to my chart, and I have a fly ball. Okay. So I got a deep fly ball to left field. The runner on third scores automatically. The runner on second can advance if hit the center or right field. Runner on first can advance if hit the left field. Okay, so we have a man on second. He can't score, obviously, and he can't go to third because it was hit the left field, so he's got to stay. So on that mock roll, he would have to stay on that one there. So that was a fly ball, and that is that. All right. Now we're going to have Murray drop down a bunt. Let's just say that we started the this is the brand new start of the inning, and we got a man on second. So we're going to try a bunt here. All right, so I got my bunting chart right here, and we're going to roll 1 to 10. So Eddie Murray, for all intents and purposes, gets the bunt sign, and it's going to be a 2. So that's a successful bunt, and the runners advance one base. So Murray would be out, and we'd have this man going to third right now. So that's kind of how a bunt works here. So we're going to play infield in, okay, because that's another thing you can do is infield in. So let's try this. I did not try this last night. So it's going to have infield in, and this is for ground ball situations only. So let's see if we get a ground ball out of this. So we have man on third only, and I'll leave that chart open in case that's what it is. So let's see if we can get a ground ball out of the next man here. So we're going to say that it's, again, we're kind of going out of order here as a demo. So we're going to say Reneke's up at the plate. And we get a 666. Oh, that's going to be another rare play. Again, we checked the wild pitch. Is it greater than 9? No, so we got a rare play. I don't want to do that one there. I want to see if we can get some kind of a ground ball here. We've already had that one come up. So we have a 344. And, all right, let's check this one out here. Are the hits less than 120? And his hits are 98. So it's less than 120. So we have a hard ground ball back to the pitcher. And I think that was an automatic double play. But we have the infield in. So we do have a ground ball. So if I'm reading this correctly, with the infield in, it was hit to the pitcher. So I have to roll off this chart to see what happens with the infield in on a ground ball, because we did get a ground ball. And it was hit back to the pitcher. So we're going to roll a 10. Error on the fielder, runner on third scores, batter safe at first. So this guy would score, and the batter would get to first base. So he hit it back to the pitcher, and he couldn't make the play, and the run would score. And I think that's how that would work. So I think that's how that would play out. So let me come back to my main camera here. And that's actually working. The switching camera thing's actually working. I didn't think it would work. So anyway, so that's a quick look here at this game here, the game of dice baseball. So that's a look how it's played. And again, this is the website, Game of Dice Baseball, and it has a bunch of seasons here. They're only $7 PDF, and I believe it comes with every player as well, or most every player. So you're going to get a good bunch of players here. And again, this is available in the card format like you have here, or it has a roster sheet. So it'll have in a line, so it'll say, Gary Reneke, and then it'll have all his stats in a line, and then below him it might have Lee May. So you can have a roster sheet. So if you don't want to print out all these, you should be able to print out a roster sheet and just kind of follow along that way. It's very versatile. I kind of like that. I find it to be kind of fun. I do. I kind of it's kind of fun. I need to get better and quicker at looking up the charts in here, because it seems like every time something comes up here, I got to go take a look at the chart here. But it's starting to flow pretty well. I'm getting an idea on what the hard ground balls are and the deep fly balls are and the whole bit. So that's a first look. We're going to call this a first look, because I'll have to come back as I play more and have a second look at this game. But that's what it is, the Game of Dice baseball. And check it out if you want to. Go to that website, check it out. Also search YouTube, because Brian has done a bunch of videos. In fact, I was listening last night as I played here on the desktop quite late last night, and then I went to bed and had the iPhone out, and I was listening to him play so I could learn more about the game and how it plays here. Fairly simple to play. I'm still kind of learning the ins and outs of like where the runners go, but for the most part, I've enjoyed my time with it. And for $7 a season, I think it could be really fun. And again, you have the option of printing cards, or you can just have the roster sheets out, which I think I would probably do it that way myself, to have the roster sheets and just have a ruler and just, so I'd have my roster sheet and just kind of have the ruler looking at the guy going across. So that way it'd be easy to print. You wouldn't have to print out all these cards and cut them out. You could just have the rosters, which is kind of what you need, because you're just really looking for the stats. And I think a game like this, the roster sheet would be the way to go. And I'm trying to get Brian to put each team on one page, or 1 or 2 pages, instead of right now he has the whole list of everybody. So if you wanted a team, it's going to be some bleed over from other teams. So I would rather have everything separate. Even if I have to print out an extra page, I'd like to have just the Red Sox and just the Orioles. And that way there, if I'm looking at my sheet, it doesn't start with California and then Chicago starts down here. I'd rather have all my teams on one sheet is kind of what would be my suggestion. Aside from that, I think that's about it. I was questioning the rare plays on the zero. And I was like, that's a lot of rare plays, but I'm finding out they're not so much rare as they are unusual. And so far, it's been fun. Going to the rare charts actually have been fun. It breaks up the monotony of it. And sometimes it's, like I say, it's just a fly out or a nice diving catch or something like that. So it's not always everything. It's not always crazy things in the rare plays. So I think I'm kind of enjoying that more than I thought I would. Let me just say that. But it plays simple. 4 dice, roll them, take a look. And you get your results there. Sometimes it's the result is done for you on the chart, and other times you do need to look at the card and check the number and see if it's greater than or less than to get your result. But anyway, so that is that. Hope you enjoyed this one here, this first look of the Game of Dice baseball. All right, now my voice is dead. I just did a hockey game today. It was a fantastic hockey game, and I lost my voice doing the game, as you can tell. So I'm going to sign off here before I completely lose it, and we'll talk to everybody later. And have a good night. Thanks for checking us out. Let me know what you think, and if you have any questions, either let me know or let Brian know. Go to his On Base Baseball page. Look for Game of Dice, the Game of Dice Baseball on YouTube, and you can see him playing in more depth and explain things maybe better than I did. I'm Dave from Studio B. We'll talk to you later. Bye bye.